What's up, people? I am back for another video. So I'm decided to do the Austin Powers movies because they're fun movies, and they're like a nice parody of like the Bond films. But I also felt like I wanted to do it just because there are only three movies, and I felt like we could knock them out. So the plan is, I'm doing the first one today. Tomorrow I'm doing the Spy Shagney, which is the second one, and then I'm gonna do Gold Member on Friday. So yeah, but rewatching the first one again, this one is really funny. Like, just it's a simple story. Mike Myers, I thought did a really good job because he plays, especially in the later movies, he plays multiple roles. Like even in this one, he's Doctor Evil and Austin, and Elizabeth Hurley was basically the Bond girl in this film, and I thought they did a good job of capturing, especially in the beginning, that like late '60s kind of feel. Then they brought it to the '90s. Um, it's a very just simple story, and I think that's the thing about this movie and this series in general is there are jokes they make in these movies. Man, I'm like, you can't do that now. So, and I remember watching the first one as a kid. Like I remember because I was two, no, I was one when the first one came out, and I remember having it on VHS because I always remember the cover, and I remember really, and the second one too. I had the first two on VHS. I saw the third one when it came out in theaters, so I'll talk about that then. But so yeah, later tonight I'll probably do a late night bands I love on the when I'll be talking about the band Journey. So that'll be later tonight. So I don't know the specific time. It'll probably be like super late. So as usual, I get the video started. So the film opens up with we see the look at 1967, and we see Doctor Evil having a meeting with his fellow bad guys, where we see Will Ferrell as I think it's Mustafa is the guy's name. He's just there to get killed really quick. Then we see basically the big boy. If you remember the big boy, which is a burger place, turns out that's Doctor Evil's hideout. And oh no, actually no, I'm stupid. They opened up with Austin Powers. They cut to because they were talking about how Doctor Evil was talking about how he had to stop Austin Powers, and then we cut to Austin Powers where we get that signature opening with the song, people following him. I think the choreography of, I love those openings of all of them because they do it in all three of them, and I love how like just simple it is. Then we cut to Austin Powers with his partner Miss Kensington. They're at a party. Doctor Evil kills somebody at the party, and then they have to try to stop him. And then Doctor Evil cryogenically freezes himself. And then 30 years later, it's now 1997. Doctor Evil unfreezes, meets up back with his company, and we meet his son Seth, played by meet his son Scott. Sorry, not Seth. It was because the actor's Seth Green, and I really love Seth Green as Scott, especially in the second one. The second and third film, the dynamic between him and his dad is pretty funny. We get a little bit of that here, you know. Then then the military has no choice but because they put Austin Powers on ice, they unfreeze him. We get a nice gag of him, because it's been 30 years, so he has to pee. So it just keeps going, and it keeps trying to shift to the next thing, but he just keeps going. It's pretty funny. Then we meet Miss Kensington, who it turns out it's her daughter, because 30 years later, we meet Vanessa, played by Elizabeth Hurley, who, man, She's fucking fine in this, and I thought she did a good job at kind of being like, because Austin Powers is a pretty much a parody of the James Bond movies, which I'll admit I used to be a very big fan of the of the Bond movies as a kid, and like I think they got a lot of the tropes right. You know, the action car with a lot of weapons, the hot Bond chick, or I guess I call them Powers girls. I thought Vanessa was a good one, and basically the film is about how Austin Powers has to um, succumb to living, kind of accepted being in the 90s because he still thinks it's the 60s. And I think for the most part, they really do a good job of capturing like that 60s feel when they're in the 60s. So it's nice seeing that. Then we get a scene of Dr. Evil basically explaining his plan. His plan is to steal a nuclear warhead, and so he can try to bribe money because he wants to drill a nuclear warhead into the Earth's core. But he's trying to get money out of it too. And this is where we get the $1 billion thing. It's pretty funny. So so Austin and Vanessa pose as a couple, and they go to this because they're in Vegas. They go to the casino. This is where we see number two, and we get kind of like, I don't remember which Bond film it was, but a lot of those tropes where Bond's with the hot girl, where he meets the Bond girl, and he usually meets the bad guy playing cards. We get a funny gag of Austin in the bathroom because somebody's trying to assassinate him, and somebody's next to him, and he's like sounding like he's taking a shit. I love the little gags like that, or they don't do it in this one, but they do it in the next one. The big dick thing, and they make dick jokes and puns. So I like little things like that, like, and just it's. I think the thing about Austin Powers, why it works, was Mike Myers was a charismatic enough character, and they do a good job of being a parody, because, but I don't put it in the parody movies like, stuff like Don't Be a Menace to South Central or Scary Movie. It's not that, but it kind of is, because obviously it's a parody on Bond movies, but it's still its own story. And the little scenes with him, and the scenes with Doctor Evil and Scott, where we get a Carrie Fisher cameo, and they're like at the stairs, but it's trying to bond. You get this funny back and forth between the two. It's fucking great. Like fucking Scott talking about how much he wants to be a veteran. He got fucking Doctor Evil. Oh, an evil veteran. Fucking evil jokes. That is fucking great. So, Austin, throughout the film, he's starting to obviously have a connection with Vanessa. Initially, he wants to just fuck her, but throughout the film, obviously, he falls in love with her. But he has to, Basil, who is like almost like, in Bond, Agent M, except it's a guy in this, but same kind of deal. He's like his boss and gives him missions. So he sends Austin to go to who's the girl who was with number two. Her name is Miss Vagina. It's fucking funny. It's a funny little gag. Like her name is literally, yeah, a lot of vagina. That's literally her name. I love the little gags like that. They hook up obviously while he steals the information on a on the bad guys. Then Powers and Vanessa, because Vanessa finds out about it. She tells off Austin, and then Austin basically gets acquainted to what's been going on the past 30 years. Funny little gag, like him buying Nikes and watching like the Berlin Wall being taken down is pretty funny. So Vanessa and Powers infiltrate the base, but they end up getting captured, and we get the funny gag where fucking, because while this is happening, Doctor Evil, his henchman, creates robot chicks with boob guns. Pretty funny little thing. I just all around just find the jokes in this film funny. It's really simple, and I actually think he does a good job at playing both Doctor Evil and Austin Powers. Then we meet Random Task, who basically is Oddjob from who's a parody of Oddjob, and so Austin Powers tries to stop Doctor Evil. They get captured, and he locks them in the easily, you know, because it's a parody of, you know, like Bond films or like spy films where the bad guy captures them and they don't see them die. You even got like Scott saying, "Why don't we just shoot them? Just right now, I got a gun. I can go grab them and shoot them." And this is where we get probably one of my favorite gags from this movie that you can apply to like celebrities nowadays. Where fucking Doctor Evil's like tells fucking Scott to shh like multiple times. Which, I mean, then they do the same gag with the zip it thing in the second one. I think both are funny as fuck, and you could. So Austin Powers and Vanessa escape, obviously, and they split up, and Austin Powers tries to confront Doctor Evil, but they use the fembots, but Austin Powers uses his like charm and dancing and just his moves, and basically overloads the robots. They blow up. Meets up with Vanessa. They connect. They confront Doctor Evil. Number two tries to turn on Doctor Evil because at the end of the day, number two just cares about money. And then Doctor Evil kills number two, and basically Doctor Evil sets his base to escape, does self destruct while he and the rest of them escape. Austin and Vanessa get married. Random task comes and tries to kill him, but gets taken out, and then the film ends. So I think I overall fucking love this film. I think it's just a fun film. I love the cast. I love like it's one of those that it wouldn't come out now. Like even just the it's a man. Like even that line would be called transphobic now. Like it's just and I think the second one overall is my favorite, but the first one is such a simple movie. I think they do a good job of capturing that Bond parody, like the Bond girls. This not just Bond, like in general, like because in the '60s and stuff, especially after Bond got really popular, there was a lot of like spy shows where you had like the hot girl. Usually, you would have like the fucking dashing guy who's good at flirting with women, and then you would have the hot fucking spy chick. So I think they did a good job of kind of capturing that with this random task. Even though the actual guy, if you look into him, is actual scumfuck. I'm not gonna go into it, but he did some fucked up shit. So fuck him. But as this character, I thought he did a great job. Nice parody of Odd Job. Doctor Evil is fucking great. I think that's one of my favorite. There are moments, especially in like the later movies. As much as I love Austin, I kind of like him as Doctor Evil more. There's just some scenes where he's Doctor Evil is just fucking great. I thought Elizabeth Hurley did a great job as Vanessa. Hit the scenes with her and Austin genuinely bonding were great. Austin kind of capturing, you know, like going from like that playboy to a one woman man was really good. And this is an all around fun movie. This is one of those I would recommend to everybody. You'll love it. It's just funny. The action's actually pretty fun. I like the fucking judo chop because that's what it was, and especially in some of those older Bond films, he would just chop a guy once and then they'd be dead. I look and love that. So 9 out of 10. This is one of the best parody films in my opinion, and just one of the best series. So because I think they get progressively better. Well, maybe not the third one, but definitely for the most part stay consistent in terms of I like them all. So I definitely recommend Austin Powers 1. So yeah, I'm gonna take a hit and peace out. But other than that, um, fuck Warner Brothers, fuck Disney, fuck LaBitch James, fuck Joy Reid, fuck Kevin Smith, and of course, fuck Joe Biden. I definitely recommend this movie. If you just love funny, just movies, and if you like Mike Myers, watch this one. This is one of his best. So I'll talk to y'all later. Or, yeah, I'll talk to y'all a bit later because I'm gonna do a late night bands I love. So that'll just be random. So I'll talk to y'all a bit later. Peace.